I guess this Pat Murphy guy knows what he's doing. Maybe a little doubt from Brewers fans at some point in that top half of the first inning when they're down 3-0. It all worked out in the end.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Everybody, good to have you along here on it's 2:15 in the morning on Tuesday morning when I'm recording this podcast. Just got back from AmFam Field and covered the game. So it's great to have you along. Longtime sportscaster here in the state of Wisconsin and proud host of Locked On Brewers. Have ever said that since I've been doing this podcast, I have never seen this team not win a division title. My third year doing the podcast, and all 3 years division champs. All I know is winning when I'm doing this podcast. So it is great getting you aboard here and joining me for a first time or a long time. I ran into a lot of you guys there tonight, and I'm telling you, I love it, man. I'll talk more about that a little bit later on in the show. But, man, it was another great night to be out at AmFam Field. Let me tell you, this episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app. Download the app, create an account, use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB, $20 off your first purchase. I never take nights like this for granted because there was 26 years from 1982 through 2008 where the Brewers did not go to the postseason. And I was covering the team on a regular basis like I do now. And I will say after the 1982 season, I thought when they lost in Game 7 of the World Series, I was very young. And I thought, okay, I was in high school. I thought, okay, I'll be back. Well, here we are. Still have not been back in, 43 years. But hoping to change that this year. But like nights like this is special. Morgan's walk-off hit in 2011. Woody hitting that home run in 2018. And, it's all special to me. It is. These moments tonight was special. I'll always remember it. These two victories over the Cubs, I will always remember it. Just a great night to be out there, walking around before the game and then covering the game. And then afterwards, walking out of the ballpark, looking up at AmFam Field and thinking, man, are we going to see a World Series here? It's great, man. It's an emotional night, and you should be proud to be a Milwaukee Brewers fans. And as I said all along, you guys have had this coming. You guys have had this. This is for the fans out there. This is for the fans. And Contreras said as much when he hit the home run and he was on the phone. Someone asked him, William, who were you calling when you hit that home run? He said, Brewers fans. He gets it. I get it. Everybody should get it. This is for the fans. This is, I've said this for a long time. These moments are for the fans. And going into that game, I said in the podcast yesterday with Ashby pitching, I was a little fearful of that because I was like, well, how come we're not pitching Priester? Priester, they've won 19 in a row with Priester. Why are we reinventing the wheel? And then Ashby gives up the 3-run home run in the first inning. And there was a lot of doubt, not only from me, but a lot of people, right? It was like, all right, here we go. Going to Chicago, it's going to be 1-1. It looked like it was going to be the Cubs' night. Suzuki hits that first inning 3-run home run, and it's like, oh boy, this is what we're after. And then Imanaga gets the first 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning, and then a couple of base hits, seeing eye base hits, and then Vaughn answers, a former Chicago White Sox who started this year on the south side of Chicago, comes back and burns the Cubs. Hits his first home run since August 15th. August 15th, he hasn't gone yard since that winning streak ended. Vaughn, last time he homered, August 5th, a month and a half, nearly 2 months. And he hits that 3-run jack. And I'm telling you, when he hit it, the ball just kept on carrying and carrying and carrying. And I'm like, eventually it kept on stretching. I don't know how it went out because at first when he hit it, I thought it was going to be a routine fly ball, but somehow in the corner there at AmFam Field, that ball just kept on carrying out. But I digress. I want to get about the pitching here. So Ashby has a terrible outing, gets bailed out with Vaughn answering with a 3-run blast. And then the Brewers, I think, okay, is Priester going to pitch? They bring in Mears in the second inning. After a couple outs, they bring in Mears. Priester going to pitch. They bring in Miz. Then they bring in Patrick and Koenig and McGill and Uribe. And 6 guys combined to one hit the Cubs from the second inning on. Team Lifeless put up that first inning home run, and the Brewer bullpen, Johnny Bullpen as it's called, Johnny Holstaff, got him down. One hit, and that was given up by the Miz. I mean, all those guys were great. Yeah, maybe Ashby wasn't so good in his outing, but those 6 guys that came after him were great. I mean, and you could do something like that when you have an off day. You have an off day on Tuesday, you reset going into Wednesday. It's an afternoon game, and all these guys are going to be available. He stayed away from Priester. And I said on the podcast yesterday, and I said on ESPN Lacrosse, I said, you know what? Don't be surprised if Priester doesn't pitch and they save him for game 3. They save him on his regular, Peralta. Woody was supposed to pitch in game 2, and then Priester. The Brewers did all this because Woodruff is unavailable. This would have been Woodruff's start. So they go unconventional, and it looked like it was going to backfire, and it didn't. And they got bailed out by 6 guys who came in relief and just were amazing firemen out there putting out every fire. Well, there was no fires to be started because Team Lifeless had 1 hit from the 2nd through the 9th innings. Just incredible. And the Miz? How about the Miz hitting up twice for 104 miles an hour? Yeah, let's face it, when the Miz got into that ball game, a little nervous, right? Because the second part of his season wasn't the best. Control problems. But the moment was not too big for the Miz. And how about the Miz screaming as he fielded that ball and ran over to first base? Said he didn't want to throw it to Vaughn over first base because he felt like he might overthrow him. He ran over there and screamed and showed emotion. I love that. That's what we need more. We need more of that in baseball. Contreras dialing up after he hit the home run. We need more of that. We need more of that to a sport that's pretty robotic at times, right? We need more personalities. And I love it. The old school baseball guy's going to say, well, that's not following baseball protocol. That's so stupid. That is dumb. You should be able to trash talk, do whatever you want. They do it in the NBA. They do it in the NFL. Why not? And Miz showing some emotion there. Yeah, I don't know if Murphy was completely on board with it, but who cares? Got to be you. And I love it. I love it. 57 pitches for Miz, 3 innings, 2 walks, 1 hit, 4 Ks in there as well. He got the win. He got the win. He was a guy who we didn't even know he was going to be on the postseason roster. And there he was, getting wins. Koenig was great. Mears. Patrick in relief. First postseason for Patrick. That guy wasn't dirtying up the bed at all. McGill, Uribe, fantastic. Everybody got a little work in and saved Priester for game 3 in Chicago. How about that? Game 3 in Chicago, they might have had to do this. But with game 2, they bullpen their way. And I'm sure this is not the last time we're going to see this, right? I'm sure this isn't going to be the last time. But they bridge the gap to Priester. And we'll see if Quintana is in the mix as well. Maybe Quintana is somewhere in the mix on Wednesday. We'll get to more of that on tomorrow's show. But, man, it was Another great night. Another great night. It was speechless out there, man. Vaughn hits that 3-run jack, and then Contreras dials up his, which brings us to Chourio. Chourio, there's a new Mr. October, man, and it's Jackson Chourio, right? I'm going to throw you some numbers about Jackson Chourio coming up here in a little bit, because that guy has, in 5 postseason games, I'm going to tell you what he's done so far. We'll get to that coming up next. Chuck Freimund here on Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Locked On Brewers, appreciate you having me on. If you're watching this in the middle of the night, man, more power to you guys. If you guys are up in the middle of the night watching Locked On Brewers, I don't expect you guys to, but man, if you are, more power to you. I'm trying to pull something up here, and it's not pulling up, which is very odd. So let's see here. Yep, I'm not going to be able to pull it up, so I'm just going to do this like it is. This episode is brought to you in part by Monarch Money. Monarch Money, most people cannot name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth. 401ks, properties, investments. Hey, some people don't know the full picture, but Monarch Money is going to get you there. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool, brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people like you and me who got busy lives and they don't have time, but you got to make time for your money. Monarch Money is there to help you out. Links all your accounts in minutes, see visual data without ever touching a spreadsheet. It's all there for you. It's going to tell you where you're spending your money, where you're wasting your money, where you should be spending your money, where your investments are going. Right now, monarchmoney.com. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB in your browser, half off your first year, 50% off your first year. Monarchmoney.com. LOCKEDONMLB is the promo code. LOCKEDONMLB. Chuck Freimund here on Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. I got to lean over because I got the window open and a train is going to come flying by in the middle of the night. You wouldn't think that trains are going to be flying by our neighborhood, but they fly by at all hours of the night. And it always seems like when I'm trying to do a podcast that that's when the trains come rolling by. So anyway, my podcast, by the way, you get it on Google, Spotify, Apple. We're on all the major downloads up there. Wherever you download your audio podcast, we're the #1 Brewers podcast on the internet because of you great Brewer fans out there. Wherever you are listening to all around the country, thank you, thank you, thank you. And by the way, if you listen to us on the audio version, you get us on the visual, go to YouTube, search Locked On Brewers, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. That alerts you every time we drop an episode here on Locked On Brewers. Jackson Chourio, 5 post-season games. I got this from Dave Gasper, who was on our show the other day. I got this from his Twitter account. 5 games. Chourio is 10 of 18, batting .556 with 9 RBIs. With the home run tonight, he becomes the new Brewers postseason leader in home runs. Now, I don't know what to be happy or sad for that, because happy, Chourio's the new leader. We love him. But sad, then that just shows you just how sad postseason history has been with the Milwaukee Brewers, when Jackson Chourio, who's only played 5 games, is the all-time home run leader in postseason Brewers history. He is the new Mr. October, playing not even 100%. I thought, okay, since he's not 100%, are they going to maybe DH him tonight? No, they put him in left field, and he clearly was not. And he chased down a fly ball down the line. Clearly was not running 100%. He wasn't not 100%. I could tell you that. But you know what? He went out there, and I thought maybe they would not play him, and they'd rest him Tuesday and play him Wednesday at Wrigley. Went out there and played and gutted it out and did what he had to do. And he leveled a home run to center field, a 3-run blast in the 4th inning to put the Brewers up 7-3, and Team Lifeless never had a shot after that. I mean, this is like the typical Cubs. I mean, I'm crediting the Brewers here, but the Cubs, you put one arm behind their back, they're finished. That's Craig Counsell's team. Now, good old Craig, he tried to overthink it as well. He didn't put Michael Busch in the lineup. Imagine that. For Justin Turner. Now, we all like Justin Turner, but Justin Turner at this point, I mean, who you fear more, Justin Turner or Michael Busch. The Brewers put a lefty out there to start the game. So Michael Busch did not start. My goodness. If I'm Michael Busch, I'm ticked off. I'm saying, why am I not in this game? Justin Turner, who had not played in any postseason game, is starting in my spot? This isn't 2018, Justin Turner. Back to Chourio. He did start, led off left field, and continues to produce. He is the new Mr. October. I'll let you guys Google to find out who Mr. October really is. That's Reggie Jackson. Old schoolers would know that. Probably nobody under the age of 40 would know who Reggie Jackson is. I would. I don't know. Does the young guys out there even follow history with the baseball? I know when I was a kid I did, but I don't know if as many follow the history of baseball anymore. Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, hit 3 home runs in a postseason game in 1977 against the Dodgers, and he was called Mr. October because he always played well in October. But Jackson Chourio is the R Mr. October because he plays well in October, 5 games, batting .556, the new all-time home run leader, postseason history for the Brewers, 9 RBIs. That's Mr. October for me. That is Mr. October. Yeah. And how about the Brewers, man? Yeah, they don't hit home run balls, right? They don't hit home run balls. They hit 3 of them. I think we need to start worrying about stop worrying about the national media and what they say. People are worried about Ron Darling and what this guy's. Oh, Pedro said something nice about the Brewers. Maybe we need to just, who cares, right? As long as we say we know our team. Who cares what the national media says? National media says the Brewers can't win because they don't hit any home runs. There are 8 teams better than them. The 8 teams were only 8 worse teams than them in baseball as far as hitting the long ball. Well, they have 3 of them. I always feel like the Brewers, for them being the 8th worst team in baseball when it comes to hitting home runs, sure seems like the Brewers hit home runs at an opportune time, right? They always seem to hit big shots. I don't know. I see the Brewers. Yeah, they don't have to hit 10 home runs in a game or meaningless home runs. I feel like when the Brewers do hit home runs, they hit them when they count, not when they're down 9-2. Or like the Cubs did the other day, they hit 2 solo homers when it was already a 9-1 game. No, I think the Brewers make the most of their home runs. That BS about, they're the 8th worst team in baseball when it comes to home run. How many of those home runs that they've hit have come in big moments? All right. It's one thing to hit a lot of home runs, but if you don't do it in big moments, who cares? I feel like the Brewers are selective when they hit their home runs. Not that there's anything done on purpose, obviously, on that, but small ball can hit the home run, can pitch, can run the bases. That's why this is a great team, guys. And I've been telling you all along. I know some of you guys have doubted the Brewers this year, and I was trying to calm you down in September. And some of you guys were like going off the rails and tweeting at me and just saying, guys, I think we're going to be 1 and done in the postseason. Here they are, 1 more win away from their first series victory in 2018. And I know as Brewers fans and Wisconsin sports fans, we're trained that things are going to go the opposite way, right? Still got 1 big game to win. We're not there just yet, but this is a good baseball team. It is. They won 97 games, even though it was in a very good month of September. I believe it was below 500 they were. I was not going to let that get in my way of how potential what this team has. I still feel like this is world championship level team. They're kind of reinforcing it a little bit, but I didn't need these 2 playoff games to reinforce that. They're a good team, guys. They are. The sample size is there. Had they lost these first 2 games against the Cubs, then I'd be crying right now. Really. I'd probably be swearing on here because you're not supposed to swear on Locked On Brewers, but I might get thrown off because I might be losing my mind. But I'm not. I'm in a great mood. It's the middle of the night, early Tuesday morning, and I'm gladly doing Locked On Brewers and talking about our team being 1 win away from going to the NLCS and maybe playing the Dodgers again. A team the Brewers are 6-0 against this year. Bring on the Dodgers. Dodgers are finally starting to win some games. Yeah, postseason, like late in the year, they started winning some games, and we'll talk about them at a different time. Right now, I just want to talk about the Milwaukee Brewers. Some people have given up on the Cubs. I'll tell you about what I heard tonight. That's next here on Locked On Brewers. Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Boy, I'm trying to figure out something here, and I just cannot get it popped up here, so I'm going to have to keep on moving forward here. Game time. You want tickets to the game? Coming up on Monday. It's not going to be a game Saturday. We're winning this thing at Wrigley. We're not coming back here on Saturday. It's funny. I heard of most of the ushers and the employees and all that talk about tonight. Well, hey, we'll see you Monday. We'll see you Monday. You know, a little smile like we're not going to be back here this Saturday because Saturday would be game 5. Well, there's nothing like catching a baseball game live. So you want tickets for Monday's game against the Dodgers as we're trending in that direction. Use the Gametime app. Gametime, fast, easy, backed by the Gametime guarantee. All the tickets, 100% authentic, delivered on time, the best price. All the fees are included. You don't have this. You're not going to get any price that accumulates as you move through the app and get a big surprise at the end. There's no Gametime surprises. The only surprise you're going to get is the great tickets. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. When you use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB, you'll get $20 off your first purchase. Again, terms apply. Promo code LOCKEDONMLB, $20 off. Swipe, tap, and ticket. Go download the Gametime app today and get your tickets for Bucks games, Brewers playoff games, Packers games, concert tickets, comedy, whatever. But use the Gametime app and use that promo code to get $20 off. Chuck Freimund here. Locked On Brewers. Right before game, I always tell you, I checked the betting line before the game, and the betting line was rising. The Brewers initially were 130 favorites, and then overnight, must have been a lot of people betting on the Cubs because they got down to 118. But throughout the day, from 118, it kept on rising and rising and rising and rising. And when I see a betting line go like that, good thing to ride it. Somebody knew something that the Brewers were going to win this game. Some smart guys out there knew something because it rose all the way to Brewers minus 135. Yeah, it just kept on rising throughout the day. And sure enough, Brewers win going away. Only 11% of teams have come back down 0-2 in a best of 5. Only 11%. Only 11% have heard that. What I did over here, some members of the Chicago media, I'm not gonna out you guys. I'm not gonna know who it is. I know who it is. A couple of you guys in the Chicago media, I overheard you. What do you do? They're joking. Oh, so what's your plans for Thursday? We're gonna have a lot of time on our hands now here in the next few weeks because they don't think they're going to even get to Thursday. That's Chicago. That's pessimistic Chicago fan. And I love hearing it, man. I love it because those guys down there, they always go way overboard on their team. They've done it with the Bears. They've done it with every sports team down there. They make a big move and they're all on board. I remember Chicago Sports Radio, when they got Yu Darvish a few years ago, they were all over that. Yu Darvish is coming here. Oh, Julius Peppers is coming to the Bears. They would have wall-to-wall coverage. How'd that work out for you? Julius Peppers ended up playing with the Packers. But yeah, a couple of these guys in Chicago media, they were talking about, whoa, what are you going to, you have plenty of time in your hand, right, guy? Right. Yeah. Veteran media guys, too. Don't think I didn't hear that. Not going to out them. But I just thought it was kind of chuckling. Chicago media already turning on their team. Cub fans turning on their team on social media. I'll just say that it is not over yet. And I'll just say this. Remember 2011 when the Brewers won the first 2 games against Arizona? They went out to Arizona and lost 2 and came back here and won game 5 on the Morgan walk-off base hit. But I'm just saying, 11% of teams have done it. don't think by any means this series is over. Let's get this thing done on Wednesday and finish it off, and don't give the Cubs any life. That's what they need to do. According to Murphy, Priester is going to pitch. Priester is going to pitch on Wednesday. Who knows? Is he going to start? Are they going to have an opener? Will Quintana factor into this? We'll talk about all that. But Priester, he threw a bullpen session after the game, after the stadium was cleared out. He was walking in at about 11:10 at night. He began his bullpen session out there. Throwing his bullpen at 11:10 at night. A little odd for him doing it late at night. So he threw his bullpen. He'll have Tuesday off, and Murphy says he's pitching Wednesday. We'll see if he's starting, or he's working on the bullpen, or if there's going to be an opener or what. Who knows? We all thought Priester was going to pitch somewhere tonight. I said there was a possibility he was not going to pitch in the game on Monday, and sure enough, just happened to be right on that one. Just kind of putting the tea leaves together on something like that. All right. Tuesday, coming up Tuesday night, we'll have another podcast. We'll drop one late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, previewing Game 3. We'll talk about it, the pitching matchups. We'll see who the Cubs are going to go with. We'll see what Craig Counsell, what desperation moves he's going to make over there. Poor Craig. Not poor Craig. Still remember the day where I was when I got that text. He was leaving for Chicago. The Cubs. The Brewers own the Cubs. The Brewers own Chicago, and they will own Chicago this week. Be nothing better than celebrating winning their first postseason series since 2018 down at Wrigley Field, where they won Game 163 in 2018 as well. It's going to do it for Locked On Brewers. And by the way, again, thank you for everybody who stopped me tonight, said hello, and how much you appreciate the podcast, man. There was dozens of people who I ran into. And like I've always said, if I'm walking around the ballpark or wherever I am, please say something. Doesn't look better if it looks like I'm in a hurry or I'm trying to walk around. I'm never, not ever too much of a hurry to take a selfie or talk to Brewers fans and all that. Man, I just appreciate you taking your time, stop by and say hello to me, man. And I was heading to the press box and I ran into a lot of great Brewers fans and people who listen to this podcast. And this is why I'm doing a podcast at 3:00 in the morning, because of, you great Brewer fans out there, you guys who deserve what the Brewers are doing right now. A 97-win season and one more win away from winning the National League Divisional Series and advancing and likely playing the Dodgers, it looks like, as well. And Dodgers got to finish off that series with the Phillies. But, man, it was just fun. It's fun for me running into you fans, man. And you guys tell me about the podcast and you appreciate it because, again, not that I need any incentive to do this, but when I hear that, I think, man, you're doing this for all those guys who were telling me they listen to it on the guy told me he gets up and he drives a pickup every day. And the first thing he gets in his car, he downloads the podcast. And I'm like, man, that's good stuff. Took a picture with probably a 21-year-old kid from Whitnall High School or graduated from Whitnall High School. He was telling me and his mom that they listen to the podcast every day. And so many people, guy from Illinois, a family from Illinois, just amazing. So whatever you do, if you run into me, wherever I am, please stop and say hello. Please stop and say hello. I won't know you're listening until you come up and say, because I can't see you. You can only see me. That's going to do it. We'll talk to you tomorrow, everybody, on the off day. We're going to be dropping, like I said, 7 days a week. We're not missing a beat on this. We got a lot to talk about tomorrow on Brewers Baseball, with Brewers Baseball on Locked On Brewers. So we'll get to tomorrow, but enjoy this one, guys. Enjoy this, guys and ladies out there. Enjoy it, but just remember, we got one more game to win. It's not over just yet. Chuck Freimund, Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Have yourself a great Tuesday, everybody.